Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the world of sharing value. And it's an honor and amazing sessions going on with you guys. And the videos that we are posting, we're getting the feedbacks from many of you that they are helping you in their lives. And today, I'd like to welcome Komal Luthra. Hi, Komal.
Hi everyone. Hi.
So, Komal is another Amazon best-selling author and strategist and a brand consultant, and she's been transforming life of people through her book and her work all around. So, Komal, our viewers will like to hear from you about you.
Okay. Hi everyone. It's wonderful to be here on Sharing Value. I came across the channel a couple of months ago, and it is sharing the kind of information that is helpful to people is what I could understand. So I wanted to share my bit as well. Uh, I'm an author currently. I had a corporate career for about 11 years, and finally, 2 years later, I ended up quitting, and I decided to follow my passion, do something of my own. So currently
Great.
I'm working on my second book. My first book, The Only Way Out, was published about 4 months ago, and right now I'm freelancing, following my passion, and sharing what I have learned so far over the last 3 years, because the whole point of knowledge is to share it. So that is all I'm here to do today, to meet you all and to share whatever I have learned so far.
Great, great. And the thing you talk about is mind reprogramming and the law of attraction and demystifying the myths behind the two, right? So
Exactly. Yeah.
and you're very well articulated that in your own book also.
Yes, that's true. It's pretty much covered, because I think there is a lot of, talk about the law of attraction. The secret is not a secret anymore. Everybody is talking about it, but there are a lot of myths, really. I mean, it is made to look like something which is just some voodoo, some magic trick sort of a thing. And a lot of people are not able to make sense of it for the same reason, because it doesn't sound that easy, and when people implement it doesn't work for them, and then they completely lose belief. So my entire idea or motive here is to be able to reinstate that belief in people, because I think there is more to it from the personal experiences that we will be discussing throughout this episode. There is a lot more to it than just some voodoo trick where you just see something or visualize and it happens immediately. So there's a lot more to it.
Yes, true. And actually, the people who have done it, uh, they've made it something simple as it is. Like, okay, you keep on repeating something, you can keep on saying something, and that thing will come to you. And that's not the equation in the life. Like, even if you have to just buy a grocery store, just groceries, you have to go to the grocery store. You can just sit at home thinking about, oh, groceries, come to me, come to me.
Yeah,
and,
that
and
is that is so true, right?
yeah, and that's what has made people into affirmations. They are just chanting few things and thinking that everything will work out just by chanting affirmations.
Right. See, that is the problem. I think we hear these things from different channels. There is a lot of content available around this topic. There are,
True.
I don't know how many books around this. I have tried to read as many as I could, but there is a lot of content around this on social media, on YouTube, and too many books as well. So what is happening, I think, is people pick up one topic, like affirmations is one of the technique, of course, and I am a believer, but the problem is that people pick up that one topic and they think that, okay, this is it. So I say
Yeah.
that I am rich, I am abundant, I am beautiful, or whatever affirmation I'm using, and now it is supposed to immediately happen. So manifestation is a process, and there are a lot of elements to it. And I'm not saying that we have to complicate it, because rather the easy does it is what I believe in. But the
Yeah.
problem is that there are elements to it. There are different elements. You just
Yes.
can't affirm one thing,
Yes.
visualize another, or maybe you are affirming, you are visualizing, but you're not on the same frequency. So your feelings are different, and it is never going to manifest that way. And that
Exactly.
is what causes disbelief in people. So that is
And
what
that
we want.
that is basically the first step, having a positive frame of mind. And it's an irony that in present culture or present times, just to stay and have a positive state of mind, we have to go to life coaches. Rather, in this
Yeah.
country, in this tradition, that was the very way of being, that you should always be having that positive mindset. And everybody wants results, right? Everybody is following any technique to manifest or doing anything. They just want one thing, that is results. Now, if I ask you, are results a part of inner world or an outer world?
See,
Definitely
okay.
they are part of outer world, and you see it outside, okay? But your thoughts and feelings, they are part of inner world. They are non-tangible, you can't quantify it. Now, what bridges the gap between the thoughts and the results? The action. So when people miss out the action part that bridges the gap, so then everything is gone.
Right. See, if we have to understand it from the beginning or from the basic, essentially, law of attraction is not about saying that whatever you think happens or whatever you write happens, whatever you imagine happens. That is not what it's saying. Law of attraction is basically trying to tell us that if we are on the same frequency as a particular thing that we are desiring, if we are able to match that frequency, then the circumstances that will occur in our life will be able to make that thing tangible, ultimately to show up in our reality. Now, for that frequency, for us to be able to reach that frequency, there is an entire process. Only affirming a particular sentence is not going to do it. Only imagining a particular thing is not going to do it. There is a process to it. And I like to talk about it like I always say that there is a secret sauce to manifestation. If I have to put it in my experience, I say it's a perfect combination of a concise choice of positive words, then you have a clear visualization, and the key element is corresponding feeling being the most important component here, because till the time you are not able to feel it, you are not going to be on the same frequency. So if human mind is the biggest radio tower that's available out there, you have to match the frequency, and for that feeling state is the most important thing. Now, I think the problem is that we are affirming one thing, and let's say 10 minutes in the entire 24 hours, I am affirming a particular thing. But the remaining hours of the day, 23 remaining hours and 50 minutes, I kept on telling myself that I do not deserve it. So we first have to ask ourselves, whatever we are trying to manifest, do we think we are worth it, or we are trying to manifest for us to make feel like we are worth something? So that is also important, because unless you believe that you are worth it, you deserve it, it is gonna become harder and harder to manifest. So there are many elements to it, and I think the missing link is usually the feeling component, that we are not able to feel as if we currently have the desire that we are trying to manifest. We never able to reach that particular frequency, and because of that, there is all this delay that happens. Sometimes it never happens, and then we lose the belief.
Yeah, yeah, true. That's the case with people, and then they come to us like, "Oh, I tried it, and just failed," because for those 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you were in that frequency zone. You were emitting that frequency, and the rest of the cycle of the 23 hours, you are just emitting something else. And it's just like the proper radio, like we just will hear to that particular station on which we are tuned in. We can't get anything else.
Right.
And another aspect that people don't understand, and I tell them time and again, that whatever you call it, universe, consciousness, or what it is, it's actually making a note of every person's frequency. Okay, for example, somebody is walking on street, and a very good luxurious car passes by, and then the person sees it. I don't have that car, and he feels bad about it. The moment he sees that car, he emits a negative vibe. Oh, I don't have that car. So what the universe gonna note it? Oh, this car, the person emitted this bad frequency. It means he doesn't want it, and let me make sure he doesn't have it. People not realize it, and that's the difference between the poverty consciousness and prosperity consciousness, right? The person
Exactly.
with the prosperity consciousness will be in gratitude, will be blessing everybody around, will be seeing grow others. He will be happy when he see others grow. 99% of the time, what people are doing, whenever they are seeing anybody successful, they are in a bad mood state. Oh, that guy became this. I don't know how. They are giving a straight, precise message by the frequencies. Oh, I don't want that success. Simple. And people have forgotten
Exactly.
to tune into this way.
Yeah, because see, the problem is even when we are affirming, we have to understand that subconscious mind, our subconscious mind is all powerful, but it doesn't understand a particular language. So your
True.
subconscious doesn't speak English or Hindi or any other language for that matter.
True.
So unless you are on the right frequency, it is not able to understand you. Now, the learning about the subconscious mind is so important because we have to understand that this programming of the subconscious is starting from a very early age. When a child is born till the eight
Yes.
years of age, within the first 8 years of our life, our mind is manipulable. We agree to anything that people are telling us, and we are majorly impacted by three E's. The letter E, which is environment and elderly, and there's a third one, it's elderly, environment, and entertainment, of course, the most important one these days because a lot
Yeah.
of impact from social media. So these are the three E's which are impacting us. Whatever information comes in using these three E's, we are downloading that data. Now it is there in the mind, and without knowing about it, that is how we have created a belief system based on the information that was downloaded in those early years. Now we have years and years. Suppose if I started reprogramming my mind at the age of 29, but the first 28 years of my life I had a certain set of programming, it is not going to be like this. It won't happen in a second, because
Overnight.
there is years of programming that you have to override. So that kind of overriding is going to take time. You will have to apply all the techniques, you will have to be patient with it. The problem is that everything that you buy today comes with a manual, of course. Even a small remote control comes with a manual, but we have the most sophisticated device with us within our bodies, our mind. That is the most sophisticated device on the planet, but it doesn't come with a manual. So we know we have a mind, we do not know how to use it. There is no manual that comes with it. And even in the school classrooms, people keep telling us focus, focus, focus. When we get into a job, the bosses are telling us you have to focus, bring in the results, where are the numbers, I don't see the data, I don't see the sales, whatever profession one is in. But the point is, nobody is teaching you how to focus. So these
True.
are the basic things that are missing. We were never taught how to use this entity that we have in our head, which is so powerful. We were never taught how to use the mind to its best capacity, or how to focus, because that can bring great results as well. So I think all that
Right.
learning is what is missing.
Yes, and like you said, the basic programming of the mind that happens when you are from the age from 1 to 8. And now let me share like how belief system is formed. अब जब हम छोटे होते हैं, बच्चे छोटे हैं, तो at that time we are naive, we are innocent, we don't know a word about it. And every children's best tutors are their parents, right?
Right.
Their parents, and the parents, in their capacity of the knowledge they have of psychology and how to raise a kid, they do their best. They do their best to raise the kid because they want him to grow, but they are not knowing the science behind it. And then
Right.
the children will pick up some false and negative belief systems. For example, a kid is small, and the kid saws his mother running outside, and he's like, "What? Why? What are you doing?" And mother says like, the clothes are out, I have to pick them up before rain comes. And the guy's like, there is no sign of rain. And he's shocked because the kid doesn't know the science behind raining. And even before the mother could come and pick up while with the clothes, the rain starts pouring. And the guy's like, oh my god, how come my mother, the mind will say that way. He's like,
Yeah.
how come my mother know the rain before it came? And another fine day, uh, he saw parents are preparing some fine food and cleaning the house, and they're saying, oh, that relative is coming, that uncle is coming, that aunt is coming. And the kid's mind is like, how can they know they are coming? And they just wonder. And after, at that particular time, in few hours, they are at the home. Now kids mind, as a kids, our mind presumes that my parents know everything. They know
Yeah,
things
right.
before happening. Now, in a fit of argument, that parents say to that kid, you are good for nothing, you can't do anything in the life. What will
Yes.
subconscious do? Subconscious will pick that up, saying, believing that the parents are true to the core. And once subconscious has picked that up, the conscious mind doesn't even know. And that's the entire struggle, because 90% of ours is the subconscious mind, only 8 to 10% remains of the conscious mind, and the permutation makes it 6,000 times stronger. And you can't beat something that is 6,000 times stronger than you. And
Right.
that, and just to eradicate just this one belief that the subconscious has bought, even lifetimes goes and people struggle.
That is so beautifully explained, Tushar. I so agree because there are certain common things that everybody, at least in Indian households, I think, almost everybody have heard. Something like पैसे पेड़ पर नहीं उगते.
नहीं
हम
उगते,
सब ने
true.
सुना है, right? बचपन में.
बिल्कुल
So
बिल्कुल.
everybody has this mindset that okay, or maybe that love hurts, or sometimes students in school, when they are told by teachers, these are all good intending adults, they are only willing to do the best for you, but even they do not understand how does the mind work. So they are telling you all these things that if you did bad in a particular exam, a paper, a unit test or something, and they are being told like, if you keep on going like this, how will you make your future, you will never get a good job. Now maybe like 10 years later, when this particular guy who heard 10 years ago, he doesn't remember it now, but when he goes for an interview and he gets rejected, see, the mind is not our enemy, but it is working in that way. The mind is going to start pulling up all the files where the word rejection has come up. So the mind will be able to relate. So, okay, 10 years ago, I was also told that I will never be able to get a job or do anything good about my life. And this is exactly what happened today. I got rejected. So that rejection mindset is so prevalent in our minds. We do not remember them, we do not remember the particular conversations, we do not remember who said what, but the subconscious has, you know programmed it there in such a way, it is all downloaded there in, like, in a hard drive. And
True.
you have to do the work to get those programs out, or you have to at least override them, if not completely get them out.
Allah.
And that is the work that is required, these are the techniques that you have one has to utilize to be able to reach that mindset. And that is certainly doesn't that certainly isn't going to happen by just saying something once or twice, or
Mm.
imagining something a couple of times and you're like, okay, so it hasn't happened yet, so it means it clearly doesn't work. So it is easy to say that, but the point is that we can choose to believe or not believe in it. It is an individual choice. But one day, if we get up and say that I do not believe in the law of gravity, it is not going to stop working. The gravity is working. You're believing in it or not is a choice. Similarly, this law has always been working for us, knowingly or unknowingly. We are attracting things into our lives. We are attracting circumstances based on the belief systems and based on the frequency that we are on. So, whatever is the dominant frequency, that is what we start attracting, because there are like what 50, 60,000 thoughts maybe that come in a day about, or maybe more. I mean, I don't know, I'm making it up in terms
Yeah.
of the numbers
Yeah.
here,
No, no,
but just too many thoughts.
that's the exact statistics that the scientists have came up with when they monitored few brains. So, and all the repetitive thoughts. And the thing is, we have forgotten that we are not the mind. What we think is we are the mind.
Right.
Rather, mind is a separate, different entity, and it has its own thing. If I say right now to you, don't think of elephants, and definitely elephants will pop up in your head. You can't do anything, and
Right.
mind can't uh, contemplate like with no. If I say there are no ink spots on your shirt, can you visualize your shirt without ink spots? So that's how mind works. And the sooner we understand, that's the user manual thing you were telling about. The sooner we understand how the mind works, and how this everything, whatever I'm perceiving, will get back to me, the easier we can make our lives. And the complications, we can just declutter them out.
Yeah, because like you rightly said, it is always working. There are certain rules. It is working in the present tense. If you say that I am going to be or I will be, it is always going to remain in the future. So, one, it is working in the present tense. I am. And
Yep.
of course, it is important that the mind is not computing negatives. So, when you say, I do not want to be sick, maybe you are attracting sickness because you said I do not want, and the mind is not your enemy, but it doesn't compute negatives. Now I've
Yep.
had people come to me after the
Mhm.
book or after certain sessions or podcast episodes. People have come up to me and saying that, okay, so why does it not compute negatives? Well, it's a manual. Do you ask the manufacturer of an air conditioner or a washing machine why this button works that way? It
That
works
way.
how it works. Sometimes I think the bigger problem is our conscious minds are so prevalent and we are so proud of them. Humans are proud creatures, right? So
Yeah.
we are so proud of our logical and reasoning mind that we have a question about everything, and we do not want to accept something unless we get a logic. Now, if you're asking me why the subconscious mind is not computing negatives, I can't tell you. It's a rule. Like the way it's consider it a rule in the user manual of the mind, it will not compute negatives. So, what is the harm in rather saying the positive statements and in the present tense instead of trying to find out why it is not working that way? Because there is so much that we do not know. I mean, in this big universe, and this observable universe is so big. Other than that, there are innumerable universes that we do not even know about. There are so many galaxies, 100 billions of galaxies, and so many stars. We are just a tiny speck in the universe. It is okay not to know everything. So I think we should just digest what we are learning and try to implement it instead of trying to find out everything. It's not going to be possible in this one life.
Exactly, exactly. And we as human beings, we think that we are on the top of the food chain on this planet. We should know everything. So that's
Yeah.
basically the problem of the ego. And
Right.
and again, we have made our ego so strong that anything that doesn't adheres to our strict conventions and patterns and results that we are believing from years, suddenly something doesn't stick to that, we try to resist it.
Yeah.
So
Resistance, yes, of course.
and resistance again is the biggest barrier in to change, right? And not only the resistance that is happening deliberately, but the resistance that comes unknowingly, the unconscious, the resistance of the subconscious. Like, you
Yes.
start to pick up any activity, going to the gym or any positive habit, and the person will know what I'm talking about within themselves, like how much they have to fight something, and in their own selves. And so, alongside this, what exactly from your book, something you like to tell our audience about?
Well, it's actually a very short read, and I kept it that way on purpose because not everybody is a reader, and I wanted the message to reach across as many people as possible. But one thing that I really want to mention, which I have only written based on my personal experience, is the role of inspired action while manifesting your desires. See, it's very simple. If we go by the ask, believe, receive method, it should happen. You ask, you believe that you have it, you put in all the affirmations, visualization, you are even feeling it. but
Yeah.
it is still not coming. So people wonder what is missing now. The problem is that you think that you are believing it, but your mind is not believing. If you were visualizing today that I wake up tomorrow morning, I open the door and I will find a bag full of cash on my door, is your mind able to believe it? So the problem is that you are not going to be able to believe it unless you are putting in some action. And it is not any action, it is the inspired action, which is that intuitive state, something that comes up in your mind, and you're like, this is exactly what I want to do with my life. This is what I want to put my energies in. So we have to take some action to make sure that we are able to believe ourselves. So when I'm saying that I'm trying to lose a particular amount of kilograms, or I'm trying to earn a particular amount of money per month, I should be doing something about it. Otherwise, my own mind is not going to believe it. And that is where you lose the game, because the moment you create a disbelief in your mind, it's not going to happen. And another important thing is the fact about letting go. That one is very important, because after doing all these exercises, even when people are in belief that these techniques work, they just repeatedly keep doing it. And when the results are not showing up, they create feelings of desperation and sometimes fear. And that is the lowest frequency that one can be on, because you are desperate that it is not happening yet. Now, if you just plant a seed in the ground, and you know that you have planted a mango seed, so you know that it is going to be the mango fruit that will ultimately show up, right? You do not just keep checking it every day कि उसको खोल खोल कर देखते रहो कि इसमें कुछ हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है, because you know for sure you're still going to provide the required nourishment. That is why we say
Right.
repeat your affirmations. You're still going to water the plant every day, but you will not dig it out every day and check if something is happening or not, because you know in your mind you have planted the mango seed, the mango is going to show up ultimately. So that is the kind of belief you require. And once you have planted the seeds in your mind, one needs to let go. Just don't get desperate about it. Otherwise, you're going to keep giving the message to the universe that you don't have it yet. And that is why you are desperate about it. And then you will remain on the same frequency. So these two things, I think, are most important.
Yes, it's very, very beautifully you have explained. And the thing is, we get too fixated towards the fruit, right?
Yeah.
We just see the mangoes, we just see the results. But what is important to get that mangoes is a good quality seed at first. That doesn't look like a mango. Okay. Then the proper soil. That also doesn't look like the mango. Then the proper water in every nourishment, the manure, and the time span. So if
Right.
everything that has been taken care of, the good mango, the good fruit is evident. And if we are just fixated thinking about the fruit, and we do any up and down in the entire process, then definitely the fruits not going to be the way we want them to be.
Right.
And what about the next book you're writing? Just it will be so good if you can tell the audience about that.
See, I focused the first book on the mind. It is just about the subconscious mind, some practical techniques that people can apply. And I kept it
Mhm.
very short, like I said.
Yeah.
Initially, the plan was to mix it up with another aspect, which is not very different. I wanted to write about how science and spirituality are, after all, not very different from each other. The workings of the mind, but with the spiritual sense as well, talking about consciousness, oneness, all these things. But then I also realized that there is a very different audience for these two things. Some people are just
Exactly.
gonna believe in the mind because we are humans, we have an ego, and we know that we are, agreeing to believe on something that is based on science, but they may not believe in the other aspects of it. And similarly, there are a lot of people now who are going through the spiritual awakening as well, who will be able to relate with that other kind of content. So I decided to put it in two parts. So right now, the first
Yes.
one was about the mind individually. It is, mostly science backed data and applicable techniques that actually work, that I have experienced myself. And the next book is gonna be more about spirituality, consciousness, the oneness of everything, our old Indian scriptures, because I've also noticed that, in our own lives we see it around all the time that it is easy for us to believe on anything that's coming from the west, and we do not believe our own older scriptures, things that have
True,
been
true,
written in there. So I want to put some light on that as well. Just a very very minute example, like we have now been hearing about some diet techniques that do the intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting people believe and they are doing it, but
true.
the Indian sages and our scriptures have been saying there is so much in the ancient text about it, that you eat within the 8 hours, you keep your stomach empty for those other 16 hours. It was not called intermittent fasting, but it has always been there. So we never bothered to learn about it before. But when it comes from from the West with some words that make us feel important, we immediately start believing in it. So I want to talk about that ancient knowledge as well.
Yeah, that would be so great, because that's the mess that the current generation is having. And uh, I was like, to tell you an instance, I was talking to a foreigner, and this guy was like, "Oh, you heard about this rhythmic diaphragmatic something breathing technique?" And I was like, "Okay, what it is?" And he started telling me. I said, "It's called Kapal Bhati, and it's been practiced
Yeah.
thousands years ago." But with the
Exactly, right.
now that the Akadashi Vrat is like, it's happening at the same time what the scientists have done, that intermittent fasting. But we totally, when the thing is coming from the West, yeah, we just acknowledge it. It's like we are too much marketed that way. We have seen too much of promotions, markets, advertisements that way. Now that's the route we feel that, and
Yeah,
even
it's
even
just cool because people just find it cool. And today, especially with the current generation, it's the new. It's all about being cool, right? I mean, everything is
true,
for social media. Whatever is cool, and if you have some fancy words
fancy words
that
about it.
then we are all willing to do it. But these things are there in the ancient Indian scriptures for like forever now, and we do not feel that okay, we are people that believe in science and we do not believe in all these things, these are old things. But when it comes from the West with some words that people like to which make them look cool actually on social media, they want to
True.
implement it. So that is, I think, the thinking that we need to find a way to work with, because there is so much gems in our own history that can be implemented towards a better life.
Great, great. That's a very good thing that you're doing, to the not only to the readers community, but to the entire people out there, and bringing all these ancient texts to the very best versions and easily reachable to every household. So, with that, so all the best for your coming book, and
Thank you.
we'll definitely chime in again and hear from you about your next book and about its launch and the way it's going to be changing the life of the people. So, thank you guys for this wonderful session with Komal Luthra, and keep sharing the value. Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Thank you so much, Tushar. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.